Michael, I'm sorry I have to tell you to stop talking because the Rizzo Show, the worst of edition, starts right now.
Woo! The Hard Rock Rocksino Northfield Park presents The Rizzo Show. And now your host, Tony Rizzo.
Hey-o! Hey-o! Hello. Hello. Folks, welcome to the worst of edition of the Rizzo Show. Joining me tonight is, he's not the worst, internet sensation, resident comedian Mike Polk Jr. Michael, we've seen so many best of shows, the best this, the best this, that. We're doing the worst of Cleveland sports.
We are doing the worst, and it really is, it's like picking a favorite child, trying to decide what some of the worst Cleveland sports moments, decisions, and whatnots are. But we sequestered ourselves in a room, we hammered it all out, we figured out what the worst things in Cleveland sports history are, and we're going to share them with you this evening.
Yeah, there was a lot of material, folks. And we're going to kick things off, ladies and gentlemen. We begin tonight with the worst decision by a Cleveland athlete, and boy, there are plenty we could have chose from. But Michael, taking the honor for me, got to go to Kyrie Irving. And no, I don't want to try and win another title with LeBron.
Right.
Can I say this? Before LeBron got here, Kyrie was a good player that really nobody knew about.
Yes.
Kyrie he hooked up with LeBron. They went to 3 straight finals. They won a championship. He got a mega shoe deal. He got paid by the Cavaliers, and now he wants out. I'm sorry, in my humble opinion, I can't tell Kyrie what to do. If he wants to go be the man, fine. In my opinion, bad decision.
And, you know, you would think, if nothing else, he would have learned by seeing what happened when LeBron made the decision under pretty, similar circumstances. You're on a winning team and you want to walk away. How'd the city treat him? How'd that work out for him? Yes, he did win a ring or two.
People will say, though, Mike, different because LeBron played his contract out.
Yes, that's
true.
true.
Kyrie has 2 years left on his contract, and he puts the Cavs in a tough spot by saying, I want out.
But he saw the public reaction, is what I'm saying. Did he think this was going to go over well when all of a sudden he says he wants to leave LeBron James, he wants to leave this championship team that just can't stay out of the finals? And
we ran a poll, and the leading answer was, what does Kyrie do now? Dead to me was the winning.
That's not good.
Was the leading
that is not strong.
Yeah, his PR is going to take a hit, but he thinks he can lead a team. From players to management. Michael, one of the worst moves in the history of Cleveland sports, provided by the Cleveland Browns back in 1993 when they cut Bernie Kosar.
Yeah,
look, if Bernie had diminished skills or whatever, this one, the worst decision by team management ever is the way they let Bernie go.
And what a PR nightmare, too. Just once again, just how tone deaf from the organization. You got this beloved character who loved nothing more than playing for this team, and to do it in the way that they did it was really tasteless.
Well, here is what then Browns head coach Bill Belichick had to say about letting Bernie go.
I remember this guy.
This is the most difficult decision I've ever made or been a part of. Tremendous amount of respect for Bernie as a person, as a competitor, his toughness, all the things that Art talked about. But it's a decision that obviously I agree with.
Boy, he can still light up a room, can he? Wow.
You know, they have since made up, and Bill has admitted that was probably a mistake, not getting rid of Bernie, the way he did it.
Yeah, and for him to admit that.
Yeah. I love the age-old, well, you guys ran Bill Belichick out of Cleveland. No, actually the team moved, and Art Modell fired him before he went to Baltimore, but don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. Well, we've had our share of horrible sound bites, Michael.
Yeah.
And the worst of all probably came from LeBron James.
Yes, I remember this one, the decision. Are we going to check that out?
In this fall, man, this is very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
Mike, where were you when that happened? I was actually at ESPN Cleveland Radio, and we just all sat there like this.
Yeah, I was actually, no joke, I was in the emergency room after I broke my finger playing in an adult kickball game. So you want to add insult to injury, have that on the TV while you have to go home and explain to your father that you broke your finger playing kickball the next time you see him. It wasn't good.
Do you think LeBron regrets that?
Definitely the shirt. As far as leaving and winning 2 rings, I'm not positive. But I wish Kyrie would have watched that on repeat a few times before he decided he wanted the heck out of Dodge.
More of the worst of, from basketball to football. How about this? Jim. I was sitting right next to him. Former Browns quarterback Tim Couch addressing the media after he left the game because of an injury, and the fans cheered.
You know, I've been here for going on 4 years now, and you know, I've laid it on the line for this team and this city, and for them to turn on me and boo me in my home stadium is a joke. It's a joke to me, and I've worked my off here, and you know, it's hard to take, man. It is.
There's no crying in football. Tim regrets that. I've kept in touch with him. But, you know, we didn't even know he knew swear words until like for him to drop those F-bombs.
I've seen that a million times at this point. You said you were in the room when that happened.
Right next
Here's what I want to know. We always see it cut off right there.
Yeah.
What was it like afterwards? Were you guys like, okay, we're just going to...
We were stunned. Yeah, we were absolutely stunned, and we knew that it was going to make news. But Tim was actually right. I mean, you know how brutal Browns fans can be, especially when they're losing.
The worst.
For him to be laying there hurt and them to be cheering, folks, you got to be kidding me.
It's super messed up.
Sticking with football, let's go back December 16, 2001, Bottlegate, as the bottles littered the field, the referees running for their lives after a bad call. Here's then Browns team president, Carmen Policy, and I know he regrets this one.
Most of the teams I've talked to are going to hold on to utilizing the plastic bottles. I think there's even a possibility of us going back to plastic bottles when the situation has been, shall we say, tested for a period of time, and everybody understands that was an aberration.
Actually, it was not.
Not so much.
And I remember Carmen thinking because they were plastic bottles, they didn't hurt that much.
How bad could it have been? Come on, you guys, lighten up already.
When you think about the things that have gone on, folks, with the Browns over the years, it is absolutely up from the worst sound bites to the worst uniforms. Now, this one was easy. Michael, plenty to choose from.
Yes.
But we are going to begin, no particular order here. The 70s Indians red uniforms.
Yeah, this was my pick. It's just the whole pants and shirt combo. You can't have that much red on a person, especially they did throwbacks, and I remember CC Sabathia trying to wear those, and man, he looked ridiculous.
Well, I remember back in the day, Boog Powell wore that uniform in the 70s. He looked like Santa Claus.
Exactly. You don't want to see that.
From the Indians to the Cavaliers, folks, I've got a little story for you. First of all, I hated the blue, orange, black, whatever those were.
It was like a tangerine.
Michael, little known fact, Nick Milletti was the first owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers. He went to my mom's high school, John Adams, right down the street. John Adams' colors, wine and gold. That's why the Cavaliers' colors were wine and gold. And when the Guns bought the team, they went to the blue and thing. Thank you, Dan Gilbert, for going back to the wine and gold. That was Nick Milletti and a high school right here in Cleveland.
Those 90s uniforms look desperately 90s, and they look so desperate to try and update. Like, we're the new hip basketball team. They look like a trapper keeper that you would take to school when you were a kid. They're awful.
Finally, can't leave the Browns out. And folks, I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of the current uniforms. Michael, I'm just not.
No.
We were promised. I mean, if that isn't a bait and switch.
Yeah.
Folks, you have to wait 5 years before you could change your uniforms. So the Browns have 3 more years with these uniforms that we currently don't
And if there was any success attached to them, they wouldn't be as hard to look at. They could wear, I don't care if they're wearing top hats and evening gowns, if they're going to go out and win some games, but you can't help but see that uniform at this point and just see just failure.
All right, speaking of the Browns, you know we've got to go worst draft picks.
Woo!
Well, we're only going to go since 1999. Again, in no particular order. Michael, Courtney Brown was such a nice guy, such a good man, and such a bad player. Can I remind you that he was the first pick overall?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Actually, he couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he wasn't that bad, but I don't think we ever got less out of a top pick ever.
No, absolutely.
Even Tim Couch played in a bunch of games.
I agree. And you know what you don't want to hear about the first pick and on your defense is you saying he was such a nice guy. Just what a swell gentleman all around.
That is
because you know who wasn't? Ray Lewis.
Yeah.
And
look how good he was. How about the Browns 2014 draft?
Oh, God.
Justin Gilbert was the 8th player picked by Ray Farmer and Mike Pettin. And do you know this? They never talked to Justin Gilbert before they drafted him.
Good Lord.
They didn't go to his pro day. They didn't bring him in for the... Are you kidding me?
And then obviously he went on to be a Pro Bowler last year, right? Isn't he? Oh, no, wait. He's not in the league.
By the way, we couldn't leave this guy out, folks. And this is all... Go ahead.
Johnny!
Have at it.
What an embarrassing little nightmare you were, Johnny. Oh, geez, I just wish this were all behind us. I wish that never happened. Don't you? Didn't you wish that was a terrible dream? How much do you think that really set the franchise back, Tom?
Oh, 5 years.
I'm
not worried about
that.
He was although he was the 22nd pick overall, not number 1. No. All right, Michael, worst mascot. Now, I know you've got a long list.
I got a bit of a beef here, all right? But personally, it was me. I had to be that. Remember that
you didn't
mascot
like Whammer? Oh, that's
from the
you.
90s? That was me.
That's
I did that back in the day. It wasn't always really me, folks. But I did this package where they put a Whammer outfit on me. That was the polar bear from the 1990s. Again, the Cavs desperately trying to look hip in the 1990s.
Wait a minute, we're the Cavaliers.
Yes.
How is there a polar bear?
It's in no way related. Slider makes more sense somehow for the Indians than that polar bear did for the Cavaliers.
Right, well, don't go anywhere. More of our worst of coming up. Which Cleveland sports stars have the worst celebrity girlfriend or wives? We'll tell you when we return. I think you'll know where we're going with this one. Stay with us.
I'd still date most of them.
Hey now, welcome back, everybody. The worst of edition. I
rolls off the tongue.
Try not to say the Rizzo show's the worst of edition of the Rizzo show. Time to give a shout out to the athlete with the worst celebrity girlfriend. Now again, Michael, these are in no particular order.
Don't be upset, ladies.
So many Cavs fans are upset that Tristan Thompson dates Khloe Kardashian. Why?
I don't really
What is the Kardashian curse?
I don't know. I don't really have it. She seems like she's been all right so far. I mean, TT hasn't really fallen off.
Well, she dated Lamar Odom. He wound up in a hospital.
That wasn't ideal.
James Harden had the worst year of his career when she dated him.
But, of course, not all celebrity relationships have been that successful. Like the TT one, for example, is, Playboy playmate Carmela DeCesar. Used to date
Jeff Garcia. She's so cute. I mean, come on. She's from Cleveland.
And Jeff Garcia's also adorable. Just look at him. What a dreamboat he was.
Did he get into a fight at a club when they ran into the ex-girl? I don't remember.
How did he get her? Did you...
I know NFL quarterback.
But he was on the Browns and he was already
All right, I got
trash.
an old school for you. You ready?
Right,
Let's go baseball.
Oh.
Here I go again on my own. Give me that White Snake video. Tawny Katane, baby. Chuck Finley and Tawny Katane.
That didn't end well.
Do you remember Tawny on the hood of that Trans Am in that video, boy? She was charged with spousal abuse and battery after authorities said she attacked him.
Hard to demand respect from the mound after Tony Katane beats you up.
Which one of those celebrities? Is there a celebrity you'd like to date, Michael, today? Somebody you think...
I wouldn't...
A comedian, maybe?
I actually really think it would be fun just for the roller coaster ride to date Miley Cyrus. If you're watching Miley, and we know you are... Just know that there's an almost 40-year-old man in Cleveland who's willing to date you.
I wish you would have told us that before this show, because I'd have a picture of you and Miley right now.
Or at least me on that wrecking ball on one side and she's on the other side.
From celebrities to embarrassing crimes committed, folks. I couldn't make this one up. If you remember former Indians closer Chris Perez,
I love this.
Back in 2013, he and his wife were charged with misdemeanor drug use after a package containing marijuana was delivered to their rental home. The package had more than 9 ounces of marijuana, but the kicker is it was made out to Brody Baum, who is their dog.
Yeah.
Michael, they had pot sent to their dog.
I mean, it really is like a Judd Apatow movie plot, where you're and that is the best plan ever, I think, by the way. And just imagine that poor dog had to go to jail for 25 years because of that.
Switching gears, there have been plenty of bad promotions, Michael, like your guy Timothy Mozgov doing a beer commercial, or the Browns handing out white flags before a game. Oh, that was a classic.
Yeah.
Well, Michael, I think the worst has to be the infamous night.
10-cent beer night.
Back in the 70s, 1974, Tribe Rangers, Mike Hargrove in the outfield for the Rangers that night.
Right.
And 10-cent beer night, some people said nickel beer night, but it was actually 10-cent beer night.
Right.
What would you do at a 10-cent beer night today? I mean, for $1,
whatever I did, I wouldn't remember doing it the next day. That's for sure. 10-cent beer sounds like
you're younger than me. What do you remember? What did the elders tell you about 10-cent beer night?
Well, first of all, obviously everyone said they were there.
No one was there.
I know there were like 15 people, but everybody's like, "Oh yeah, I was totally there, man. I saved 3 women's lives that night." Everybody has had it, but no, nobody was there. But it's obviously a huge, hilarious black mark on the city sports franchise.
They actually had to stop the game, folks.
Yeah. Think about
people,
that. Not because of weather.
Oh, yeah.
Because of drunkenness.
Danny Coughlin has the best stories, too. Apparently, it all really got out of hand when some guy tried to streak. And there were women taking their shirts off.
Yeah.
But then when the guy tried to streak, I think one of the Rangers clotheslined him, and it started a brawl.
Yes.
And the fans actually attacked the visiting team. Now that, folks, is a home field advantage.
I know this is the worst of show, but I still think that's a pretty hilarious claim to fame. That 10-cent beer night, I stand by that decision. I love that memory, and I'm proud that it happened here in Cleveland.
Just pray you weren't a police officer at the stadium.
No, that would have been good.
Yeah. Michael, who would you pick as the worst coach in Cleveland sports history?
Boy, that's tough. I mean, you can just go down the line with the Browns coaches. I'm telling you, I was always, just at least recently, I was not a big Mike Patton fan. I thought he was really bad.
You know what? I'm going to plead the fifth on
I know,
this one.
you have to dodge it.
Well, some of their fans, some of them still live here in their family. Coach him up. Coming up, time to eat, folks. Now, this isn't worst of. This is best of. Riz on the road. Stay with us. Folks, welcome back to the Rizzo Show. You know, I've been going to Las Vegas since 1982. No one knows a good buffet like me. In fact, no one knows a bad buffet like me. But look at this. We're live at the Hard Rock with Brandon. He is the buffet manager. Brandon, I've heard great things about your buffet.
Well, thank you.
Including all-you-can-eat T-bone steak and shrimp. What night of the week is that?
Oh, that's Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Oh, yeah,
all-you-can-eat steaks and shrimp.
14-ounce T-bones.
Boy, you better hope my friends don't know about that.
Oh,
actually, I hope they do know about that.
We want them to know about that.
Will you do me a favor? I am starving. I'm ready for a great buffet. Will you take me through line, show me everything?
Well, what do you want to start? You want to start with...
I want to start at the beginning. Let's go. Folks, I got to be honest. I'm not a giant salad bar guy. But Brandon, this is a little bigger than a salad bar, isn't it? You got a little extra stuff.
We got a little bit more going on.
Is this kale?
That is a kale salad right there.
No one really likes kale, but I know it's really good for you, and I'm going to eat some. This is a little more my speed now. Now we're getting to the bread.
Yeah, we got
the
bread
rolls,
over here.
Right?
Yep, bread.
Fresh rolls?
They're from Orlando.
I love the Orlando.
So local.
Sonny, they've got your rolls here, Sonny. Right. Now, here we go.
Okay, all right, all right.
This is Chinese.
Well, this is our international section right here.
International.
So we got egg rolls. We have an orange chicken today.
Oh, yeah.
This one rotates.
Don't know much about history. Don't know much of biology. You remember Animal House? You remember John Belushi going through? I won't do that.
Okay.
I won't do that in front of you here right now. Look at this. Is this the pasta section? Lasagna.
Yep. Lasagna, some deep fried ravioli.
Ooh, let me try one.
Those are delicious.
We're still in line right now.
Yeah,
right?
we're still in line. We got beer battered cod.
Oh, country fried steak.
Yeah.
Oh, with the gravy. I love that. So good.
Mac and cheese. Fried
hush puppy,
chicken.
stuffing, fried chicken, green beans,
mashed potatoes, gravy, Salisbury steak.
Oh, Salisbury steak. Man, that's from the 70s. How do you guys? I gotta try that. I want just a small piece of that prime rib.
Like that?
Yep, and the au jus on there.
Au jus as well.
What is your name, Jerome? Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, as you can see, I'm very hungry. Thank you. Yes. All right, folks, now we are in Rizzy heaven right here. You know I'm a huge dessert guy. Brandon, come on. Cakes, cookies, brownies.
That's a crowny cookie mix right
Coconut bars. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll wait on that. Ice cream. You also look at that. What is this? Baskin Robbins? Look at this. I got to admit, Brandon, there is so much food here. You know, folks, if you're coming to the Hard Rock Buffet, bring your appetite. It is unbelievable. Thanks for the tour.
Oh, my pleasure.
You know what I'm going to do now, don't you?
Oh, you got to eat.
Got to go sit down and eat. Oh, but I want to make everything perfect. Unlike the theme of this show, that is not worst of, that is best of. Harvest Buffet at the Roxino.
Look good.
Also has, they have Concerto. Remember the Italian place
I
where
ate
I made
there.
the
I
pizza?
dined there, yes.
And of course, award-winning Kozar's Grill. And Bernie's Restaurant, and Bernie's there a lot.
Yeah.
He's there at least a couple times a week. But that steak won awards this year.
He was there when I was dining. It was almost like pressure because he's watching you and you want to make sure he sees that you're enjoying it. And he's just like, you like it? I'm just like, yeah, it's real good, bro.
Wants him to eat this thing. When
Is he still there?
The Rizzy Vault, when we return. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Rizzo Show. Folks, they never show me these, so time to open up the Rizzy Vault. I can't wait to see. Roll it. Here in Kent, the place is going crazy. But if you notice, nobody's on the street. Everybody's inside watching the game. Oh! Ow! Ow, Bob!
Why doesn't that ever get old?
Bob Wilkinson was my cameraman. I had to go back and go back and reshoot that, folks. 2002 Kent State, probably the most famous thing I've ever done. I guess you got to be famous for something. I don't know.
Why is it always so funny? Why is it always funny?
Get your plugs in, please. Where are you? What part of the country are you in?
I'll be in the Roxino. Check it out at MikePolkJr.com.
Yeah, thank you. Good to be alive. Good night, everybody.